Kia ora, hello and welcome to our weekend weather forecast as storms from Australia arrive in New Zealand. Most of the video today is about New Zealand, but we do cover part of the tropical islands and also the southeastern corner of Aussie. We kick off with the animated wind map, and the dark area, that's the low pressure. That's what's connecting Australia with New Zealand, and over the next few days more low pressure zones will be drifting out towards us and then falling apart. It is going to be windy at times in New Zealand. Severe gales are possible. So is heavy rain. We'll be starting with the heavy rain in a moment. But high pressure surrounds us. And so for the tropical islands, high pressure is right on your doorstep. So the usual easterlies further north towards the equator, but lower down around Fiji, Vanuatu, New Caledonia and Tonga. Actually a bit of a cooler southerly coming in for you at the moment, so not quite as stormy. Over in the eastern side of Australia, there is that big cold southerly fanning out across much of the country. Still raining and thundery on this side, but that is also clearing away as we go into the weekend. So we kick off with the rain in New Zealand. There's plenty of it coming. Not often you see the white shading at the very end of the scale. This is getting up to 200 millimeters, and I think potentially 300 millimeters for some localized mountains and ranges. And that is all due to this low pressure zone coming out of Aussie, sort of relentless for the next 5 days. So that's the 5-day rainfall total, 200 to 300 millimeters here, 150 to 200 millimeters further north, and up here 100 to 125 millimeters in the blue areas, also in the lower North Island. But it's fairly dry in the east. Over here in Hawke's Bay and Gisborne, not much at all over the next 5 days as far as rain is concerned. As far as temperatures are concerned, this area is the hottest part of the country on Saturday. Temperatures are 8 degrees above normal in the very eastern coastal parts of Hawke's Bay, maybe Waiata Upper as well. But look at the other end. There's that southerly coming out of the Southern Ocean, and your temperatures go from being several degrees above normal to several degrees below normal for inland areas, especially on Saturday. And this is the Saturday forecast. So we've got the warm nor'westers blowing over the North Island. That's why we saw the temperatures here in the east over 8 degrees above average. So a hot, sunny nor'wester. The clouds could be thick at times, but over in that eastern area, you should get some sunny spells. It's a different story in the South Island. Rain comes into the west coast. Low pressure links you up here as well. And then down in Southland and Otago, a cooler breeze coming out of sort of the Southern Ocean, and that's why your temperatures drop on Saturday. By Sunday, it stays cool around here with low pressure, windy to the north, still fairly mild actually for northern New Zealand. You don't get that cool down that southern New Zealand gets on Saturday. So on Sunday, windy westerlies blowing across from Australia, gale force winds possible maybe around Auckland, although we're not expecting it to be problematic, but it could be pretty blustery and even windier over in some of those eastern areas. By the way, cold change coming here into the southeastern corner of Australia, Melbourne and Hobart most impacted by that on Sunday. So next week kicks off with a storm in the Southern Ocean / South Tasman Sea area, this zone. 976 hectopascals on this map. It could get down even lower than that. So that dredges up this big cold southerly to Melbourne, Hobart, and later on Canberra. On the New Zealand side on Monday, windy westerlies continue to blow through. Not quite as bad maybe for northern New Zealand, but windy still through the Southern Alps and some inland areas as that low moves through, and of course brings much more rain to the west coast. By Tuesday, now we get the peak cold out of Australia. The first surge is on Saturday for the lower South Island. The second surge here on Tuesday, coming straight up and in to much of the South Island. So you'll be feeling that temperature drop. Again, Canterbury not quite so extreme as maybe Southland as far as the temperature drop is concerned, but it starts on Tuesday, plenty of showers. But notice northern New Zealand, half the population lives up there, not looking as wet or as windy, although still kind of windy. It doesn't just completely drop away. And then we get into the final map of the week. We get to Wednesday here, or final map of the broadcast, and things are calming down a little bit. There's this high pressure zone around Tasmania and Victoria spreading out towards Northland and Auckland. So that's just keeping a lid on, connecting with this other high out here. More easterlies for the tropical islands next week. A few thunderstorms to the northeast around Samoa, but elsewhere not looking quite so dramatic. And over in Australia, not quite so stormy either, although a bit of low pressure still lingering around that western side. So New Zealand has got a windier week next week. The windy westerlies kick in this weekend. They linger right through next week. So we haven't had them for a wee while. Some places haven't had the windy westerlies for about a month. So it is spring. I keep saying that at the end of every video because, well, that's just the obvious disclaimer. That's all from me. Have a great weekend. Someone said to me, we're not ducks, so don't wish us a great weekend if we're all stuck in the rain. I quite like a wet weekend. You don't have to feel guilty for not doing things like mowing lawns and weeding the garden and doing outdoor jobs like painting and sanding. Now you can just sit inside and watch YouTube or Netflix. So there we go. All right, let's just get out of this and have a good weekend. We'll see you on Monday.